And it is another evening. Thank you for joining us at Science TV 4 p.m. Brief News. I am your host, Catherine Govi, and my sign language interpreter voicing Esther Kendi. Welcome to the news making headlines. The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, Iebc Chairperson Erastus Ethekon has sought to allay fears of vote rigging in the 2027 elections, vowing that the polls will be free and fair. Speaking in Nairobi on Wednesday, Ethekon discussed concerns raised by some Kenyans and leaders about potential electoral malpractice, particularly in the presidential race. The concerns were sparked by recent comments from a section of leaders who declared their intention to ensure President William Ruto's re-election by all means. Ethekon categorically ruled out the possibility of rigging, calling such fears as impossible. And away from that news update, the Foreign Affairs Principal Secretary Korir Singoi has urged Kenyans to remain calm following the news that the United States is reviewing Kenyans' special major NATO allied status. Mr. Korir downplayed the significance of the U.S. congressional move, telling Kenyans not to get too excited about the development. The reviews, which was initiated by the U.S. Senate Foreign Relations Committee, stems from concerns over Kenya's continued engagement with China. However, in a post on social media platform X, Mr. Korir assured the public that the issue raised would be addressed directly in the U.S. Congress. Another news update, President William Ruto has fiercely defended the Hustler Fund, rejecting a recent report by the Kenyan Human Rights Commission that called for its abolition. The Kenya Human Rights Report claimed that funds had failed to foster enterprise or create meaningful jobs, suggesting it was a path for financial failure. Speaking at a roundtable event in the private sector on Wednesday, President William Ruto lauded the funds as a success, citing the disbursement of 72 billion shillings to 26 million Kenyans since its launch in 2022. He castigated his critics, accusing them of expressing negativity towards government projects and ignoring the positive impact the fund has made on the lives of ordinary citizens. Back to the Iebc, where we have the Iebc has announced that it will release a roadmap for the by-election next week to fill the 24 vacant elective positions across the country. The Iebc chairperson, Mr. Erastus, confirmed that preparations for the mini polls are in the advanced state. He assured the public that the commission intends to conclude by all means the by-election before the end of the year. The by-elections will address various vacant seats, including parliamentary and ward positions that have been empty due to deaths of elected leaders or court orders malfunction from the previous election. And away from that news update, the government has expressed frustration over the inability to effectively enforce the ban of shisha smoking despite acknowledging its severe health risk. The Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale stated that efforts to protect Kenyans from harmful substances like shisha have been hampered by the absence of legal framework to support their enforcement. Speaking at a press briefing, Ndwale explained that while a ban is in place, the lack of special litigations makes it difficult to sustain a charge in court against offenders. And Mr. Ndwale described shisha as a cocktail of dangerous substance, including cocaine, heroin, and other hard drugs with dire health consequences for users. And we've come to the end of the news update. Thank you for joining us here at Science TV. I have been your host, Catherine Ngovi, and Mr. Language Interpreter voicing has been Esther Kendi. Enjoy the rest of the day.